Welcome to another beautiful section of AM Plus. I welcome you all, our dear viewers, our wonderful viewers, our people out there, for tuning in into today's program. Just as you know that this is AM Plus program under the Youth Forum, where we discuss on things that concerns the youth, where we discuss on things that matters to youths in the society, the way that youths can grow, the way that youths can improve themselves, and the way that youths can be developed. So I welcome you to today's special edition of Youth Forum, where we tagged Let's Discuss, because this is a place where we discuss things, where we discuss matters that concerns youths and the society at large. I welcome you to today's program. If you watched our last week's program that talks on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the education and social life of youth and teenagers in society, I know you know it's a very wonderful program. So you are welcome to today's special edition of another topic that we'll be discussing today, which has to do with youth and career. Youth and career. You know, when you hear of youth and career, you begin to marvel. Oh, youth on his own, then career on another part, whereas we are now merging it together just to discuss on it. But before you start questioning me, I will say again that you might be saying I'm the only one coming again. My colleague is not here, she's on another assignment, so I'm the one doing this for now. So just bear with us, she'll be back soon. So before we go into today's topic proper, I want you to stay tuned as we go on a short break. Thank you. Now, welcome back from the break. If you are just joining us, we are talking on youth and career. This, as you all know, this is our program under AM Plus. We are talking about youth and things that affect youth in the society. We target Let's Discuss. So when we discuss on these matters, you begin to see reasons why youth needs to be developed. You begin to see reasons why youth need to develop themselves. You begin to see reasons why youth needs to make an impact in lives and the society at large. So today we'll be talking on youth and career. Youth and career. Now, taking it from the aspect of career itself, you see that career has to do with a way of making a living. It has to do with what you have envisioned to do. It has to do with your goal. It has to do with your career. It has to do with your objective, things you are seeing yourself doing in the future. So now, the best place to build a career, the best place to build a solid career for yourself is while you are a youth. Now, as a youth out there now, you begin to wonder that, do I have a career? Do I really have a career? If you are questioning yourself that do you have a career or not, you are on the wrong path. So I will beseech you now to wake up to a clarion call and build a career for yourself, because without career, you are lifeless. Without career, you have nothing to achieve in life. Without career, then your existence is not having meaning. Now, career in a lighter part, career has to do with your profession. It has to do with, what you see yourself doing, what you see yourself, building, what you see yourself making impact through, what you see yourself developing yourself in imparting the society and your family at large. Now, when we talk of career, as a youth, when you are in school, you begin to say, okay, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a mechanical engineer, I want to be a chartered accountant. You begin to envision things for yourself. You begin to see things that you want to do. You begin to say things that you want to achieve in life. But if you are not seriously inclined with what you have envisioned, there is a tendency that it will just be a mere dream. Take it or believe it. If you have a dream, if you have a vision, if you have an objective to achieve or to attain in life, and you are not working towards it, then you are just making it a mere thing, because hard work is not imputed for an outcome.
My name is Demola Adeyeye.
Okay, what do you do?
I'm a media entrepreneur and also a legislative consultant.
Wow. all this. So are you living to your career with that?
More importantly, I am playing my part within the polity. What is most important to do within a career is to make sure that you have deep satisfaction, that you play your part within the polity and you're actually having an impact within the environment. That's what's most important.
As a media consultant, as an entrepreneur, as a legislative aide, that's all like three. So how do you combine this? You were having a career before, but why having diverse occupations?
You know, the thing is, for individuals, careers they differ. Each person can choose to go through a career. Some might decide to go through a career in medicine, some in law, some in the arts. It is by choice, based on the things that you choose for as a person, the things that you prefer to do, and the things that you are naturally interested in. That's the course. You know, career is also not determined by anything, but also the fact that innate, inborn capabilities, things that you actually grow up to do, the things you enjoy, the things that bring you joy. Those are the things that actually decide your career. And for me, as a person who is involved in public life, who is involved in the media, who is involved in a little bit of politicking, it's a dream come true.
Okay, has there been any motivating factor that is pushing you up?
Absolutely. For while everybody grows up, you find a career model, that things you see young kids, because they've seen an engineer, or a lawyer, a doctor who is doing very well. They come and assume that this is actually what they want, and they want to be in future. They imagine maybe an aeroplane flying on an helicopter. They are like, one day I want to be the person who's flying this. So things that you see, our environment motivates us. It's not just about money, but also about inborn, about things that you want to see yourself doing. After a while, those are some of the things that actually, there are a lot of challenges, but one of the first major things that we see is how much we see other people doing the same exact thing, and we just want to copy through.
Okay, you said there are a lot of challenges. So can you mention some of those challenges?
Beyond the things that we have seen, beyond the things that we have seen as models, beyond the things that we have seen happen in the community, one very important thing also is the fact that our environment can deter us. Yes, our background can keep us in the background, but it does not entirely keep our back to the ground. We must move out beyond those challenges and do challenges of money, challenges of health, challenges of exposure. But more importantly, the duty that we have is to reach out beyond those challenges and take a step. That's the most important thing.
So what's your advice to your fellow youth out there?
What I would say to fellow young people, I've played several parts. I was a member of the Nigerian Youth Parliament, represented Osun East and Nigeria District, that's Ife Ijesha. I have run for different positions within the youth policy. I contested a few years ago, for Deputy National Youth Leader of the ruling All Progressives Congress. There are a lot of things that are bound to deter us, to push us back. But it is us as an individual, as young people, upwardly mobile, that we choose to push, that we choose to surmount those challenges and take the next steps ahead. That's the most important thing for us as young people. It's a pleasure. My name is Honorable Ademola Adeyeye.
My name is Olushola Omelana, media practitioner in Osun State.
Okay. When you are a youth, sir, has media practitioner occupation been your dream and your vision?
Actually, it was not my dream, but eventually I ventured into it based on a lot of orientations that I got later in life. Because at first, initially, I think the dreams of most of youth or children is to become a lawyer, engineer, or a doctor. So I dreamt of one of these, but in the long run, based on orientations and new development and trends in the world, I discovered that there are so many windows of opportunity in the area of career that one can venture into, apart from these three that I earlier mentioned. So eventually, in my course of growing up, I decided to choose mass communication, at least to communicate ideas and a lot of things to the world.
Okay, sir, you are saying some orientations and there are some things that made you to change your life. So is parental influence part of it?
Parental influence is part of it to some extent, but not largely. It is largely based on, the orientation is largely based on what you see as you grow up, because every child is potentially gifted with special skills, and as you grow up you discover these skills. If parents are the one to solely choose the career for youth at times, it might have negative implications on the youth. So the best thing is, as you grow up, if these potential gifts are discovered early in time, they can try to develop it, but not forcing or dictating a particular career on the youth. But in the long run, when you discover that, okay, you have this certain gift, you can now on your own venture or choose a particular career that you know can suit your dream in life. So if I may say now, the parental influence just to some extent in my own case, but my own experience and orientation which I got later is what contributed to my choice of career in my growing up.
Okay, sir. On the final note, what would be your advice to youths out there who don't even have a career to pursue, who are just living their life doing nothing, not adding value to themselves and the society?
Okay, my advice for such youth is that when you take a look at what is happening in the world today, there are numerous windows of opportunities. There is no child that is born with absolutely no gifts. It is only if it is not discovered. So the best thing is, my advice for youth is to try and discover the potentials, the gifts that are naturally deposited in them. So this is what they can develop over time, and before you know they become, because nobody can become perfect without practice something. So if you practice what you have discovered, if it is in the area of arts like writing, if it's in the area of communication, if you see communication in the world today is highly diversified, it has numerous windows of opportunities that you can venture into. So if you discover what you have, there is no how it will not be fitted into a particular scope of career that you should choose. So I would advise youths to discover the natural potentials in them and to develop it, and to, at the end of the day, utilize it to maximum output. And also I would still like to advise youths to take opportunity of entrepreneurial skills, communication skills. They are so numerous, you can't even mention them. If you want to mention them, you continue till the day will run out. So the best thing is for them to look at which one they know they can perfect in, because in entrepreneurial skills now, you can become a businessman today. You can venture into agriculture with your entrepreneurial skills, and you can begin to market and look for markets for particular products, and before you know, it can grow into a conglomerate. Because most of these businessmen you see in the world today, they did not just start from somewhere. They sat down, they dreamt, and they look at the abilities of what they are capable of doing. In the long run, they try to develop it and venture into something. Most of them who could not discover their natural skills, the natural ability deposited in them, that is endowed with them by God, they try to look through these windows of entrepreneurial opportunities, and they ventured into something, and at the end of the day, they became a big name, big shot in the world today. So my advice for youth is, if they cannot identify the natural gifts they have, they should try to venture into entrepreneurial opportunities, and they will excel.
Thank you very much, sir. Your name once again, sir?
The name is Olushola Omilana, media practitioner in Osun State.
So now you just listening to what they said concerning career. You know, there was a certain person there that discussed and said when he was a youth, his dad wanted him to be a chartered accountant, whereas he wanted to be a journalist. You can imagine that, because if you begin to wonder as a youth that your parents wants to become a chartered accountant, that should be your profession, whereas you have your own dream to achieve, how do you work through it? What do you do? You can imagine, he said he fought through it. He stood his ground. He was courageous. He was determined. He was focused. That is the only key, and that is the best way to achieve your career in future. If you stick with your career, if you focus on it, if you are determined on it, if you are serious with it, and you bring out an impact that will add value to the society at large, then no influence can weigh you down. So today I want you to follow me strictly. I want you to follow me strictly as I will be going on this topic. Now, to start with, I will be talking on the factors affecting youth's career. Factors affecting youth career. One, we have society. Now, considering the fact that youth, we are living in the society, and we have this high tendency of relating more with the society than the old adults. Whereas we are the one that go out, we are the one that see things. You see the way the technology is now, advancing. So it's happening in the society, and we are seeing it, and we are saying, wow. So these things are happening. These things are just developing day by day. Society has its impact on our career. But as a youth, if you are seriously determined and focused on your career, no societal influence will shift your ground from the foundation of your career. So you will be stick to your career with focus. Now you see, at times when you go out and maybe in a webinar or in a campaign program and you are called to come out and talk, you'll be shy. There's this inferiority complex that comes on you, and you begin to wonder, oh, can I really speak? I don't want them to know that I want to be an engineer, because they will say, doctor is the best. No. Be courageous and be positive about what you want to achieve in life, and stand the ground. No society will shake you. I repeat, no society will shake you if you are determined and focused. We have a lot to discuss. So, secondly, I will be moving to peers. Peers, when we talk of peers, it has to do with your association, people that you associate with, people that people that mingle with you, people that you discuss with, people that you have close relationship and contacts with. Now, as a youth, you have so many friends in your place of study, which is the school, the learning center, the academic institution. You have friends there, you have people that you move with, and there is a tendency that they influence you. Now, just imagine if a youth is well sounded, and the youth says, I want to be a mechanical engineer. Mechanical engineer, that is the vision. Then the friends will keep saying, oh, you want to be a mechanic? You want to be repairing cars? You want to be repairing autobikes? You want to be repairing, machines? Is that one making sense? When you should be thinking of being a doctor, being a politician that is so rich. The influence and what they say to you will really bring you down if you are not well focused and determined on your career. So the peers and association you mingle with should not influence your career. Take your ground. If you are serious, if you know where you are going and there is a vision you are working with, let's assume this is a path now, and you are going on that path smoothly, you will get to the destination successfully. But by the time you allow influences to come and weigh you down, you begin to see that the shape of that path you are moving will begin to come, in a bad light. Therefore, you have to follow your career with focus and follow it straight, because it's like a path, it's like a straight road that you have to follow to the destination. We'll move on, we'll talk on resources. Now you begin to see that, okay, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a chartered accountant, I want to be a journalist, I want to be a politician, but the resources in enhancing myself, in building my career is not available. If you are not having the resources, you can say bona fide that you have the mind. Once you are determined that you have the mind and you have the courage, the resources will come. Believe it. If you are saying, okay, I don't have the money to sponsor myself to school, I just finished my SSCE, I want to go to the university and study law, but the money is not there. If you are determined and you are focused, you will work towards raising the money so as to study what you want to study, which is law. But by the time you get so eaten deep into the fact that, oh, there's no money, my parents cannot send me to school, and the way things are, the country is so bad, there's economic recession, you begin to drop down. There was a certain time that a motivator said, fear shouldn't come to your mind, because fear is like a policeman that arrests your mind and heart and diverts it from your future. Don't entertain it at all. Build on your courage, build on your development, and see that your vision is achievable and attainable while you are determined by it. Don't be influenced. Lastly, we'll talk on the parental influences. That one is the major part of it, because like I said earlier, you can see one of our reactions where the man was saying, I wanted to be a journalist, but my parents were saying I should be a chartered accountant, because their belief in quote was that there is more money in accountancy than journalism. Now, taking away parental influence has to do with your courage and hard work. You have to be useful, you have to make impact, you have to develop yourself, you have to add value, and you have to prove them wrong that your career and your vision stands firm and your foundation cannot be shaken. Now, just imagine me as a person. If my parents wants, I'm a journalist. If my parents wants me to be a doctor, and when I was, when I was going to school, they were not saying, you must be a doctor. The way I place myself and the things I do, which is in line with my vision, which is journalism, will be the one to convince them in acknowledging the fact that they cannot shake me from my foundation of vision. So there is no way I can be shaken. My determination, my focus, my positivity, and my manifestation in journalism cannot be shaken through their influence. At times the parents will say, oh, I want you to be a doctor, you are telling me you want to be a journalist. If you are not ready to comply, if you are not ready to follow what I've told you to do, then I won't pay your school fees. I won't feed you any longer. Then I won't do anything for you again. Can you get that? Just imagine in our world today, you see parents who will tell their children that there is no need of studying doctor that you want to, or medicine that you want to study. I have a business, and by the time I'm old and I'm gone, you will be the one to be in charge of the business. But believe you me, for the fact that you are in the right place does not mean you will do things the right way. Can you be successful in that business if they place you there? No, because that's not what you envisioned. That was not your vision initially. You don't have a foundation there. So now, if you shift a grant from the place of your vision and from the place of your career, there is a tendency that you had no impact and no value to the society and to yourself in that place, in that position. You have to be useful to prove them wrong. You have to have your point. You have to bring things out that are innovative. You have to be creative. You have to bring new minds. You have to, cultivate things. Renew your mind in the sense that they will know and they will be convinced that your foundation cannot be shaken from your career. Take it or leave it. Your parents will tell you, I want you to be a doctor. If you want to be a journalist, you are on your own. I won't pay your school fees. But are you really practicing what journalism are doing? If you are practicing, you have to start small so as to go bigger. So by the time you start doing it and you are proving them wrong, they will be convinced. They will see your future with you. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's just the truth about it. There is more to it, but because of our time and because of the program schedule, we are going to just limit the affection here, where we move further to talk on ways to achieve your career. Ways to achieve your career. You see, there are so many ways to achieve your career, but the first thing to do, after acknowledging the fact that you have a career, is determination. If you are not determined for success, then you are determined for failure. Working in line with your career has to do with a solid and a positive foundation that is well determined. If you are determined to succeed, definitely you will succeed, because you'll be working in line with things that will make you successful in your career. But if you are not determined, whereas you are just nonchalant, you neglect some things that are of importance to your life, then you begin to see that things will be falling apart away from your career. So the first thing to do is to be determined. Then the number two is focused. By the time you are determined, you'll be focused. Okay, if I'm determined that I want to be a doctor today, and okay, that was my determination. And the focus has to do with my focus on things that are in line and inclined with doctors' activities. Showing care, treating people no matter what, telling them to go and get these drugs to use so as to heal some certain ailment. These are just the samples of things you can do that will help you in your focus. Now, the number three is development. Development. You see, by the time you are developed, after your determination, after your focus, you have to develop yourself in that thing. And what will help your development is hard work. By the time you have this vibe and this morale to work hard, to do things extraordinarily, to do things innovatively, to do things creatively, to do things positively, then you will see that your manifestation will be so successful that people will know, even you yourself will acknowledge the fact that you are growing. You have to be hardworking. You have to be determined to be hardworking. You see, by the time you are hardworking, you will be dedicated to what you are doing. Now, when I said I'm a journalist, I'm a journalist for real, because while I was in school, I studied journalism and I worked with it. There are so many things I was doing then, and they were in line with what I want to envision. You see mentors, you see people who have gone well in journalism field, and you want to be like them. You want to be above them. Then you cannot just sit down and be doing nothing, but you have to build yourself. You have to read books, you have to go for seminars, you have to go for programs, you have to go for webinars at times that you even pay for, just to develop yourself and groom yourself. This is part of the hard work that will get you dedicated to your vision. So if you are just there and just feel you can do things anyhow by sitting down and your vision or your career will come to you on a bed of roses, you are deceiving yourself. Take it or leave it. That is pure force, because you are deceiving yourself. You will just see that your life will just be on a bed of fiction, which is an untrue story. That means your career is just through the mere say, but the action is not being put down. So for you to incline yourself and attain your career, you have to be determined, you have to be focused, you have to be hardworking, you have to be dedicated, and you have to be developmental. Also, you have to be positive. You have to have a positive mind. By the time you entertain negativity in your heart, you think that things will begin to fall apart. You yourself will begin to see that you are no longer focused. These are things that will weigh you down. So to end the program today, I'm going to leave you with this statement, and I would like you to hold it firmly so that it will help you in your career. One, we have, do not waste the years of obscurity complaining and grumbling. You see, there are so many youths out there today. You complain in the morning, you complain in the afternoon, and you complain in the evening. You just keep complaining and you are not adding any value to yourself. How can you grow? You cannot grow. Don't waste the years of obscurity complaining and grumbling. Find something doing. Have a vision, have a career, have a goal, have an objective, and work in line with it, and you see that you'll be successful. Number two, if you do not desire to be relevant, then you are lifeless. Take it or leave. That's just the truth. If there's no morale, if there's no drive in your heart, if there's no drive in your spirit mind that you want to be relevant and impactful in the society, then you are lifeless. You can only have a life when you add value and impact to the society. But whatever you are doing that is not adding impact to yourself, and not adding any impact on the society, there's nothing developmental about it, then you're on the wrong path. There is a saying that goes thus, that for a man on the wrong path, consistency is not the answer, but change. Now, if you're on the wrong path, it's better for you to retrace your step and go back to the right path now. Because if you're on the wrong path, consistency is not the answer. If you are being consistent there, you are just being consistent on the wrong path, and it will lead you to failure. But if you change, there's a transformation that will take place in your mind, and you begin to see things that you should see. Then you change your step and move towards the vision of your career and the attainment of it. Lastly, don't get tired about life. Fight it through courageously. It takes courage. Even what we have been discussing since, it takes courage. You have to be courageous. Just, have this courage for it. Have this development mind for it, and you see that you'll be successful. My dear youth out there, even our parents out there, the old age out there, you can still do something that will build you up. Now, there are so many persons who have missed it while they were youth, but there is still a way. You can still do something and add impact to yourself and the society at large. If you are not fulfilling career, you are not fulfilling purpose. If you are not fulfilling your career, you are not fulfilling vision. Then why are you born? Why are you on earth? You are not just here to live and live like that, but you are here to live, add value, and make impact to your life and society again. So thank you very much for your time today. I believe you have learned something very new, you have learned something very imparting, and you have learned something that will develop you well in your career in life. So now we have come to the end of today's program. I remain your very host, Kayode Ayeni, Youth Forum, and on this our program, let's discuss. Our special thanks go to the director of this program, which is Chief Paul Arowolo, and our special thanks also goes to Mr. Adedo Tosin, who is on the camera there, who is really helping us in this program. And to our editor also, Mr. Olawore, we say a very big thank you to you. And to our wonderful viewers out there, we thank you very much for this time. We thank you for clearing into this program. And we hope to see you same time next week. Thank you.